let's take it to the start of the episode, and which I don't know if anyone else noticed this. As Marvel Studios logo faded away, it goes to purple, the color of Agatha Harkness. And instead of cutting to Westview, where we have started every single episode so far, Westview or Sword, we start in Salem, Massachusetts in 1693.
Yep, which is the actual year with the whole Salem witch trial.
And it is almost exactly in line with what happens with Agatha in the comics, with quite a little change, though.
Is because I counted seven plus her mother.
Mhm.
So is that a reference again? Not being into the comics. Is that a reference to the Salem Seven? Are they the Salem Seven or not?
I don't think they're the Salem Seven because the Salem Seven are her, like, they're Nicholas Scratch's children, so technically her
Right.
grandchildren.
Yeah.
It, what I found really interesting was the fact that it was witches at all, because in the comics, Agatha's burned at the stake by people. She doesn't do something to betray her coven. And I don't know. It just got me thinking. What do you guys think she did to betray her coven for them to cast her out and essentially try to kill her?
I mean, I found that quite an interesting scene because it's starts off with we don't find out immediately that it's her mother who's sort of taking charge or at the head of that coven at that point straight away anyway. As you find out pretty quickly, but it seems that she's been, I think, dabbling in sort of dark magic when she shouldn't be, and I think it to me seemed fairly obvious that she had pretty much planned all that because she seems all innocent, but she has this little quirky smirk, like a little. I noticed just a little sort of side of her mouth sort of quirks up every now and then when she's sort of like going, you know, and she's trying to pretend that she hasn't done anything bad, but then she has that little smirk, um, and then when I'm assuming that the order's given to kill her, that's when she just absorbs their power. That's how it seems to me, which makes me think she just had that planned all along, um, and then to kill her mother as well, which
Yeah.
or absorb her power as well. What I did find interesting though, when I just watched it before we came on here, um, just before she kills her mother, I don't know if she had a name actually, the mother. I don't think she does. She may have
She
a
might have.
name.
I don't think I wrote it down though.
Yeah, yeah. But she gets the sort of like a magical crown or
Yes.
tiara. I don't know. Um, Now I don't know if that's reference to what we see later on. Don't know if it's worth. Do I need to talk about that? No, maybe not. I'll come back onto that. But um, yeah, she gets this magical tiara, which I don't know if that refers to what we see later on in the episode. I don't know what you guys thought about that.
Zach, do you wanna take a swing at this
Uh,
one?
I think she was just getting too power hungry and, to kind of circle back around to Supernatural. Like the storyline there was this character, Rowena, was, yeah, too power hungry, but like the Coven, was higher up and you'd have to be like a certain ranked witch or like get like a okay to practice certain type of magic or whatever. Like, so I think that's where Agatha was, kind of dipping into what she wasn't able to do or allowed to do just yet. And obviously she wasn't going to give it up.
Yeah, I think that we've actually seen exactly what she was kind of dabbling with, and I do think it's the Darkhold, or whichever they're gonna say that book that she has is, but probably the Darkhold. I think it has something to do with that, just because they continuously are referencing like dark magic, like this is evil, and like this is a book that's really reminiscent of being something that is evil, at least in the comics, actually, and in almost every appearance it's had in the Marvel TV shows, although those aren't connected.
Right.
Still, it's a similar item they're using in this almost the same way.
Yeah, yeah.
I I I feel like you could make the argument that Chthon, the author of the Darkhold, could be kind of manipulating Agatha a bit. I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think Agatha probably taught herself through the Darkhold, figured out this magic, and was like, I just want to be powerful. But I do think she has a reason for wanting this power, and I'll get to that later as well.
Yeah, I think this is something which well, Marvel can always come back at a later stage and show something in a different light, which is exactly what they've done in this episode. So you're right, it could be that Agatha is, not necessarily being controlled, but someone, could have put her up to this. But I think, looking at what we've seen on this episode, I think it's probably a bit like what Zach said. She's power hungry. I think she even makes reference to learning her abilities. I think when she manipulates the fly into a bird or turns it into a bird, she talks about how she's, took her ages to learn how to do that. So I think it is stuff that she's just learned herself. And yeah, she's probably just gone beyond. If she was in this coven where there was possibly restrictions that, you're too young to learn that yet, and she's probably thought, balls to that. I'm you know I'm power hungry and that's what I want. So
Yeah.
and she's learned how to absorb other witches' powers, energy, whatever way. But yeah, I think it's her just wanting to push herself. Yeah.